Hey everybody, it's Father Richard Gonzalez here. As we've approached the 4th of July holiday, I recently read an article by Jill Esfeld. I'm going to read parts of her article, but the entirety of the article is actually listed and linked down below in the comments section. It's a great article celebrating how a Catholic helped in the formation of the United States of America. So again, as our country is celebrating the anniversary of our independence as a country, it's actually a good time to thank God for the freedoms and the blessings that we enjoy as citizens of the United States of America. So happy 4th of July to everybody. As we may reflect on those early days of the battles of the American Revolution and ensuring that our freedoms are protected by law, there's something about the 4th of July that every Catholic should know. The answer to the question, were any of the signers of the Declaration of Independence Catholic? And the answer is yes, only one, Charles Carroll of Carrollton. And Charles Carroll was the longest lived person who'd signed the Declaration of Independence, and he will always be remembered and referred to as Charles Carroll of Carrollton for an excellent reason. Well, you see, the brave men who signed the Declaration of Independence were facing the charge of being criminals, to be found guilty of treason against King George III. For as they signed their names, they pledged their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor. If the British soldiers had been successful in winning the Revolutionary War, the signers would have lost everything. And Charles Carroll was the wealthiest landowner in the Continental Congress, and he had the most to lose. He originally signed his name simply as Charles Carroll. Well, you see, other signers of the Declaration accused Carroll of taking no risk because his name was very common at that time, common amongst other men within the colonies, that the British soldiers would have difficulty convicting him of treason. So Charles Carroll added of Carrollton to his signature, so there'd be no question to his identity. Charles Carroll of Carrollton. Charles Carroll was born September in 1737 to a wealthy Annapolis, Maryland family. And Charles Carroll was raised Catholic and educated in Jesuit colleges in Maryland and in France before studying law in Paris and in London. His education in Catholic social ethics prepared him to embrace the ideals of freedom, liberty, tolerance, and constitutional government, and it motivated him to openly support the independence of Maryland from Britain. And Charles Carroll believed strongly in a government with limited, checked, and balanced power. At this time, Catholics were prohibited in participating in Maryland politics before the Revolution. But that did not stop Charles Carroll from expressing his passion for American liberty so strongly that he actually became a champion in the fight for independence. His great speaking ability paid off. Charles Carroll was allowed to serve in the Maryland delegation as the only Catholic in the Continental Congress. And Charles Carroll served in the Continental Congress from 1776 to 1778, and then returned to Maryland to help write a constitution to form a state government. And he was elected to the Maryland State Senate in 1781 and served until 1800. And because he had experienced firsthand, because he had personally experienced intolerance towards Catholics, Carroll fought tirelessly for religious liberty in the United States and is remembered for breaking down barriers for Catholics and other religious minorities. Charles Carroll died on November the 14th, 1832, and his funeral took place at the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary in Baltimore, Maryland. He's buried in the family chapel at St. Mary Chapel at his home estate in Ellicott City, Maryland, where he often prayed for the prosperity of our country. On November the 22nd, 2013, Archbishop William Lori of Baltimore presided at a Mass at St. Mary Chapel for the eternal salvation of Charles Carroll of Carrollton. And in his homily, Archbishop Lori said, "This is the chapel And this is the tomb of the only son of the Catholic Church who risked his life and freedom and property to sign his name to a document so that he and his descendants would be free to practice their religion in peace. As we have approached the 4th of July, we thank God for the founders of our country. We thank God not only for their vision of freedom, of liberty, but recognizing how these are gifts that were given to us by God himself. And we thank God for all of those who are protecting these holy gifts of liberty and freedom here at home and around the world. And we ask that God may continue to protect all of those who are wearing the uniform of our country here at home and around the world. May God bless them. May God bless you. And may God bless America today, tomorrow, and always. If you enjoyed this YouTube video, consider giving it a thumbs up like, subscribing to my YouTube channel if you haven't already, and hitting the notification bell and the all tab so you are notified of all future videos on my YouTube channel.